Hello, welcome to my new home. Uh, Full transparency, we're not fully moved in yet, or we're moved in, but we're not fully unpacked. I wanted to just be real with you all because I know you all can appreciate what moving is like when you have three kids. um, hello, everyone. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle Perta, and I'm a life and marriage coach for moms. So today I wanted to talk a little bit more about what I've been noticing a lot with a lot of my clients. I'm noticing that their arguments are so much longer and so much more painful than they need to be. And it's all because of one thing. And so I'm going to share that with you today. So I'm going to give you a scenario and let me know in the comments if this is something that you've experienced at all or even regularly in your relationships. So something seemingly simple that you're bringing up, and then your husband says something either in the wrong way, using the wrong words, using the wrong tone. Maybe his body language looks a little bit aggressive, or he looks at you funny, and you go from 0 to 60, and you were calm. You clearly knew what you were talking about. You were sharing what you wanted to change or what you didn't like. And then all of a sudden, you find yourself caught up in this tit for tat conversation where, maybe he says, well, who are you to say that? You've done this before. You're not innocent either. And then you go down this rabbit hole of playing criticism in the form of a tennis match where you just keep going back and forth and back and forth. And you're not even talking about the problem anymore. You're more so competing with each other to see who can get the last word in, to see who will concede, to see who will back down and say, okay, you're right, you're the winner. Or what most likely will happen is neither of you feel like you're winners. And you kind of just put your tail between your legs and you walk away, or you huff and puff and you walk away, and you let time pass and you're like, I don't even know what we're fighting about anymore. Let's just forget about it, only for it to repeat again, but under different circumstances. So let me know in the comments if this is something that you encounter regularly or at all. This used to be a very common theme in my relationships. I would say, I would really like you to stop doing this, or I didn't like how you did that. And naturally, they felt attacked, and then they attacked me back in whatever way they felt they needed to, and then it just went back and forth, back and forth. And at the end of the day, the problem was not solved. We did not figure it out, and we're both left feeling empty. So here's what I have to offer you. If this is you, I would so much love to help you make life easier by shortening your arguments for good. And this can be done simply, and I say simply because isn't it always like the simplest answer? The simplest way for us to solve our problems. We often too much added complication. We make it too complicated, and then all of a sudden we just lose sight of what we're trying to do here, right? And so the shift that I would like to offer you is to step away from playing the victim and step into the role of investigator, okay? Not interrogator, investigator, all right? So it's our victim mindset, which we can thank our brains for, this thing in here between our ears that is responsible for helping us function throughout the day. It is this thing that is to blame, okay? Our brains are naturally hardwired. So this is the reptilian part of your brain, like the, the survival mode part of your brain, that is at fault here, because it's constantly looking for opportunities to protect us, right? So it's like it has this like radar on all the time. When it comes to emotional things, though, it doesn't really need to be on as often as it should be for physical things, right? Like, okay, fire, don't touch that. A mountain lion, run away. I have a skunk who has decided to build a den in my new beautiful yard. And so, yeah, stay away from that because I don't want to get sprayed. And apparently skunks can have rabies. So we have called the people that need to be called to hopefully come and take care of that. But anyway, I digress. And so it is that victim mentality that has you constantly looking out for ways that we are being attacked or approached incorrectly, that has us reacting and entering, to choose to enter the tennis match that is like, oh, you can't say this to me, I'm going to say this back to you. And then, he's like, you can't say this to me, I'm going to say this back to you. And it just keeps going back and forth and back and forth. And it is not productive. And so I want you to know this about yourself. I want you to know that everyone has this in them, and that it takes being super intentional to manage that. It is work. Marriage takes work. All relationships take work. Even the relationship you have with yourself, I'm sure you have come to find. Okay, so this is how victim mentality plays out in your arguments. It looks like, the conversation starts out okay, seemingly, and then all of a sudden your mind goes, oh, hell no, he did not just say that to me. Or did he just have an attitude with me? Or did he roll his eyes at me? Did he really just do that? Or did he just try and subtly blame me for something? Like, you're constantly picking up on potential opportunities where you're being attacked. And so the brain can be like, nope, let's go. Let's fight, let's flight, let's freeze, or let's fawn, whatever your fear response is, right? Those are the 4 different fear responses that we have. And so we're built to do that. And so it is our job to know that. So I'm telling you, so if you've never heard this before, you now know, okay? You're now equipped with this knowledge. And so it's time to take this in and accept it and hack yourself, okay? If you are ready to let go of these long, drawn out arguments and you're like, we have better time, we have no time to do this, and we could use our time in a better way, right? Like having a more harmonious relationship, having fun, enjoying each other's company, being at peace with each other, whatever. You have better things to do with your time than to fight for any longer than you need to be fighting for, right? Like, I'm not against fighting. Fighting actually allows for a lot more clarity, transparency, vulnerability, deeper connection, and personal and relational growth. It is the unnecessary length of time that I am against, and I don't wish on you, and I want to help you reduce. All right. So in the background, what is happening is you're saying, why am I being spoken to like that? What did I do wrong to end up in a position like this? And why me? What did I do? How come this is my reality? So it's a lot of why me? Woe is me, right? And while this is very natural to have this line of thinking, again, not productive. Instead, I want you to notice that you're having these thoughts and then play investigator. Play investigator. What is it that is causing me to react this way? Okay. And the reason why I say this is because let's take your husband. He can say, you're being a real jerk right now, or you're so selfish, right? That could hit really hard. That could feel really painful and really personal because he's arguably the person who knows you the best, right? But if someone at the grocery store were to call you a jerk or to say that you're selfish, you'd be like, okay, you don't know me very well. I don't really care what you have to say about me. But you see, they're the same words. It is the meaning that we apply to the words that has us reacting in the way that we do. Now, this is where playing the role of investigator comes into play. Asking yourself, should I be interpreting the way he's saying these things to me in the way that he's saying these things to me? Am I jumping to conclusions? Am I making assumptions that I should clear up, right? It's incredible because in my client sessions, we'll go through scenarios, we'll talk about what's happened over the past week since our last call. And whenever they have arguments with their husband, we'll drill down, right? We'll drill down and we'll replay it. And I'll just ask them, how certain are you that that's what he meant? Well, and then they're like, actually, I'm not certain. That was an assumption. And this is where our brain is like truly amazing because it has like a million thoughts that happen that turn into assumptions in a matter of a split second, right? Like your husband will say something and then boom, you already have a reaction. You're clapping back already. But in the background, your brain's like logging through the past, right? Like, how dare he because he's done this before, or, oh, this reminds me of a past relationship where I was spoken to like this. I swore I would never allow myself to be spoken to like that again. And so all of the past comes rushing forward into the present, and he gets to bear the weight of all of the baggage that you're bringing into it. Okay, so instead of playing the victim, I want you to stay in the present, play investigator with yourself. Ask yourself, what's going on here? What is it that I'm perceiving his words to mean? Is there something that I need to know to validate whether this is really what's going on? Or is there something I need to ask for that I'm not receiving? Maybe it's like boundaries that you need to set. Maybe it's clarification. Maybe he doesn't even know that you're interpreting what he's saying the way that you're interpreting it, because I don't know about you, but I'm not always in control, or I don't always feel aware of how I'm coming across. My husband has this habit of mirroring me when I give an attitude, and I don't even know that I'm giving an attitude. I just hear it from him, and I'm like, wait a minute, why are you talking to me like that? And then I realize, oh, we've had this conversation before. He has this tendency to mirror me when I'm giving an attitude. And so first thought is victim, right? And then second thought is, why is he giving me an attitude? Am I giving him an attitude? And then I'll ask him, are you giving me an attitude because I'm giving you an attitude? And 90% of the time, he's like, yeah, I didn't even know I was doing that, but yeah, that's what I hear from you. And so I want to offer you to play the role of an investigator more often in your arguments, okay? Yes, it's going to take work. Yes, you have to be super intentional about it. But the awesome thing about this is that the more often you do it, the easier it will become, because you'll get to practice it more. You'll raise your self-awareness, but also in the process, you'll change the way you're showing up in arguments, and you're going to lead by example, and he will follow if you continue to do it consistently, okay? So play the role of investigator more, whether it's diving deep into what's going on with you, or trying to understand, putting that energy and compassion into making sure that you two are growing through whatever you're going through, right? And investigating what's going on potentially with him. Like, I wonder what is causing him to feel like he needs to say this to me. What is underneath all the surface level noise that may be happening, right? I love this phrase of hurt people, and it is very much true. in you and in your husband. So if you find him talking to you some type of way that you don't like, ask yourself, where might he be hurt right now? What need might he have that is being unmet, that has him reacting this way, or choosing to talk to me like this when normally we're not like this, or if it's been going on for a while, when prior to us being in this situation where we're unhappy, how did it become this way? What shifted? Right? You got to do the homework. It's not always fun, but it's always worth it. So shift from victim to investigator and see what you find. See what you find. If it's truly a priority for you to work on your relationship, to have a stronger relationship, to shorten these fights and grow through these conversations, these arguments, then take the time, process what's going on, and fact check it. Is this based on an assumption, a past experience, or is this true? Right? Ask yourself this, because your brain is going to try and trick you. That's your pride talking, right? Your ego saying, no, we will not stand for this. But go past that and ask, what would help this progress? What would help us get closer? What would help us resolve this instead of fighting each other? How can we fight the problem? Okay. That is what I have for you today. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was or is from this video. And I look forward to coming back on here with a much emptier background next time. And I'm sending you all my love, all good health, and I hope you're all doing well. All right.